are alive and well in many ways, and that's not going away.
This is the North American Service broadcasting on 17.70, 15.42, 12.05.
How you will worship her together.
What have you done to its eyes?
The next time you're frightened in the dark, don't scream.
They are not what they claim to be. You're listening to Radio.
All right, it's Amber. Welcome to Radio Grave. I have a special guest today. She's a friend of the show. She is amazing. I would like to welcome Selma to the show.
Hello.
This is Selma.
That is me.
Selma's the best.
We're squeezed into a coffin.
Squeezed into a coffin together.
Yes, I'm from a grave or two over.
I hope you're comfortable. Not to bring it up, I feel like everything that I have for you is short person size. And like maybe you're in an uncomfortable position.
You're making it sound like I'm like 6'9", like a giant. I am a giantess. No, it's fine. I'm used to the world being a little bit too small.
That's okay.
To be honest.
It's okay. I'm a small and you're a short, and it's okay. Or no, I'm a short, you're a tall. That's what I meant.
Right. Uno reverse.
Uno reverse. But it's perfect. We're the perfect duo.
Together, we're an average sized individual.
Exactly. Anyways, welcome Selma to this show. Today, we're doing a shallow grave. This is I feel like a lot of people have heard of this topic before, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but black-eyed kids.
I haven't heard of this one before, to be honest with
Never
you.
heard of the black-eyed kids?
No.
Nothing?
As I've been researching and reading upon it, it's just more and more interesting. They are not what they claim to be.
Like you just think that they're like appearing to be black-eyed children, but they're not?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's kind of the vibe.
Yeah. Something that knows how to prey on our soft spots, which is children. Babies,
elderly, which is like, nah.
Kittens,
Puppies. Everything. Well, we are talking about the real story behind the black-eyed children, where the legend came from. So, lock your doors, turn off the lights, because the black-eyed kids are coming for you. So, for anyone who doesn't know, the black-eyed kids, or BEKs, are believed to be inhuman creatures of unexplainable and supernatural origins. BEKs tend to invoke extreme dread and primitive fear. Specifically, they manifest as children between 6 to 16 years old with entirely black eyes. They're usually Caucasian. Surprise.
Yeah,
not
not
really.
Surprised on those ones.
Not surprised. But sometimes they're olive toned, which is like, And generally, the times that they are olive toned, people have said that they have a bad tan. And there are many reports that claim that they just fucking stank like eggs.
Dinky.
They're dinky, which is like demon shit.
Yeah, I was about to say that's pretty common in something supernatural.
Demon. Right? Yeah. So they could be. So sometimes they're alone and sometimes they're in groups.
Terrifying.
Yeah. To have a whole bunch of them. They pose as if they need assistance. They're usually reported seen hitchhiking, begging, or knocking at your door. And most encounters occur at night, often asking for a free ride or to use a telephone or to use the bathroom. They're like, can you take me to the bathroom so I can shit? Then I can call my mom so she can pick me up because I just shit my pants.
Up until that point, I was thinking of the prolific serial killers that would pretend to be
I have to shit so bad. Can I come in?
Yeah, maybe that's how they really got inside.
If
This man was like, ma'am, I'm going to shit my pants. And you let him in and then he gets you.
If a man ever came to my door and was like, oh, please let me inside, I'm going to shit, I would be like, absolutely not.
On the porch, please.
Yeah,
let me watch.
Just shit. I don't want to watch, but you're not coming in my house.
Why would a man be here? It doesn't make any sense.
Why does he have to shit? That's gross.
But again, all of whatever this entity is, it knows all of our weak spots.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh,
Children
like,
needing help, needing their
oh,
mom.
Literally. But their voices tend to be monotone and unchildlike. So it's not necessarily they have like adult voices, but they speak like adults. Like, hey, I need a ride.
Can I use the restroom, please, madam?
Madame. But their behavior is also generally idiosyncratic. So what they say and do make little sense. There's one story of a time that a man had an experience with a black-eyed kid, and he watched this child through his window that was on his front porch, and the black-eyed child just stood at his door chanting, "I think it's food time," over and over and over again.
That's so funny. My humor's so broken. All I can think of is like, brother, I require oats. Brother, the oats. I
think it's food time.
Dude, that's so fucking funny.
Could you imagine a child comes to your door? It has black eyes. You slam the door in its face. You go over to the window to watch the child, and it's just stiff as a fucking board being like, food time, food time.
I think it's food time.
So
there should be someone with this child right now.
Yeah,
clearly.
This child is hungry.
There's like not a lot of social awareness
Yeah.
happening with this child.
Could be a monster. So along with that, sometimes their requests can be unusual. So they could be maybe asking for a ride to school at night, or asking for money to see a movie that isn't in theaters. Something that's like out of date, being like, can I have some money to go see Cheaper by the Dozen?
I would like to see Shrek 2.
Can I have some money so I can go see iRobot with Will Smith?
Can I go see 28 Days Later?
Can you give me some money? That's it.
It's movie time.
It's a movie time. It's movie time. So there's another story of a black-eyed kid asking for a man.
Why would a man be there?
Asking a man for ketchup to eat with his apple.
I don't know. Kids are weird, though.
Kids are gross,
I don't
yeah.
know how much I would question this, because, there's always like the kid in class who like flips his eyelids up.
And like eats and like sucks the ketchup out of the packets just on its own.
He would totally put ketchup on an apple.
What if he flipped his eyelids up and had black eyes and was sucking ketchup out of packets, just staring at you saying food time?
I would just assume his parents are cousins.
So accurate.
I don't know. Kids are weird.
So there's another story that tells of a pair of black-eyed kids that were asking for money for a fundraiser. They were selling a stack of magazines that were decades old. Fucking like, we're selling these. Can you buy one?
They're Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, literally.
Like Playboys.
Like fucking, yeah. Like just totally.
The New York Times, like something super adult.
It's like 9/11, like the New York Times, like 9/11 front page news. Mm-hmm. They're like, we need money for our fundraiser. We're fundraising for ketchup.
Do you know about this guy named Coney? We have to stop him.
2012 for literally. Oh my God. So moving on from Coney, from Coney 2012. Speaking of children, the invisible children. God damn it. Okay. They are said to be capable of strange abilities, and many of their strange abilities coincide with Men in Black abilities. It has been theorized that black-eyed children are related to the Men in Black. But I don't know.
They both like the color black.
That is true. They move silently, and some reports claim that they float. They can appear and reappear and travel impossible distances. They have alleged powers of psychic influence.
Maybe the black-eyed kids are Men in Black in training.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And they have to start. They got to start being creepy somewhere.
That is so true.
Like, they're trying to see what sticks. Like,
yeah.
Maybe they're just, it's like they go out there and they're like, give it your best, Johnny. And he's
literally
like, I've seen an apple and I've seen some ketchup. And
kids
like
love
AI,
apples and ketchup.
Yeah,
literally.
like it's like an AI image of something eating, and it just gets all like weird and like doesn't look quite right. It's got to practice before it looks quite right.
I agree.
the instances of other worldly things coming into contact with us, it never is quite right.
People have other weird things to say in theory about what exactly they could be.
Okay.
I mean, there's the idea that it's demonic or paranormal. That makes sense because they stank.
Right.
Because they're trying to trick you, or maybe they're just in spirit form, like they're dead kids, which is like, I don't know about that. We see dead kids in general. I mean, like, I don't necessarily see dead kids, but like dead kids don't have to be black-eyed kids to be like dead kids.
Right.
So I don't know about that. Others argue that they're like extraterrestrial or dimensional, like you said with Sam, or that they're monsters in like human form. Maybe they're like predators, vampires, like literal monsters in disguise.
I was getting, like, to be completely honest with you, while you're reading these descriptions, Renesmee comes to mind.
You're thinking of Twilight right now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Like the vampire children that they describe being like unable to control themselves, and like, I don't know. I guess they don't really describe them like as not quite right, but it just gave like Stephanie Meyer's vampire children vibes.
Oh my God.
Maybe she like got the inspiration.
I think, and I think a lot of other people think this too, but I think that they are a new age tulpa. Have you ever heard of a tulpa before?
I have not.
So a tulpa is an unreal being or thought form that has manifested into existence by means of intense belief or spiritual concentration. So if enough people believe in something, that energy can manifest that thing into a physical form. If there's one thing that you do need to know about black-eyed kids, it is this: never grant them permission. Never say, never. You okay?
Yeah.
You breathing?
It's just something I
afraid.
feel very fucking passionate about, is never welcoming anything into your home. I don't even have anything in the front of my home that says welcome. Like, you don't invite that shit in, and you don't put a welcome mat out.
There's just a frog.
Yeah.
And it has a gun.
No, that's my neighbors. They have the frog with the gun. We have the guard frog on duty.
Guard frog on duty.
And the wipe your paws bear.
Yeah, which is just like, don't bring your shit in here.
Yeah, but my neighbors do have a frog with the gun.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's like a little shotgun.
What?
It's from Bi-Mart. I almost got one time, but it was like $30. So I didn't, but they have it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's very Bi-Mart.
Yeah, that is very.
anyone-
I love Bi-Mart.
I do too.
Yeah. But yeah, you never grant them permission. Ever. Never, ever, ever. So today, black-eyed kids are considered to be a creepypasta internet legend. And this is only somewhat true. There are some obscure black-eyed kid reports, but none are as compelling as the one we're telling today. And this is considered to be like the true origins of the black-eyed kids. So, the most famous story surfaced online in 1996. It appeared on a site called ghosts.org. And the site hosted a series called True Ghost Stories from the Net. It was an archived collection of hundreds of, quote, true ghost stories. They were submitted by real people and then posted to the public. And the submissions had to be sent through a site called Alt Folklore Ghost Stories. So, I mean, this is some 1996 bullshit.
Honestly, I can like picture the website right now. It's like white background.
Yeah.
Maybe something fancy like green.
Yeah. Well, it's actually very like fucking shockingly terrible. I will take some screenshots because I did look at it on the Wayback Machine.
Okay.
The most fucking, it is so hard to look at. Not for any other reason other than like the text, the colors, the background. It's all confusing. There's writing in random places and
the text is like
links
lightly dancing too. It's
yeah.
like shimmying.
It's just fucking like 1996 fucking sites.
You had to like, if you picked up the phone while you're on it, it was like,
get off the internet so I can use the phone.
Yeah.
So both ghost.org and Alt Folklore Ghost Stories were hosted and owned by a woman named Obi-Wan, Obiwan. Obi. And basically, the Black-Eyed Kid story was a submission, but who was the author? The experiencer was a man named Brian Bethel. And Brian was a regular user on ghosts.org. He had submitted other ghost encounters in the past, and he was actually well known amongst Obi-Wan's ghost community. And people saw him as an honest person. He was someone that was genuinely like interested and into paranormal stuff. And I mean, it's 1996. I don't think everybody has a computer or is this involved in like online communities. But if you are in a discussion forum with all these other people who are on the same site, like people are just going to know you.
Exactly.
I guess.
Especially 96.
Yeah.
Like you think about back then, like you said, not everyone had a computer.
Incredibly focused.
Yeah. And not everyone was like into this sort of niche section of the internet.
I can't even really think about, 1996, like you and I are like the same age. I think you're a little older. I don't know. I think you're a little older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, because your birthday's in February, and then mine's in November.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're literally a year apart.
Right. Because I'm 95.
And I'm 95. 10 months
after
you. We were wormed out.
Yeah. I wasn't even on the internet yet.
I feel like nobody in my family had even touched a computer at this time.
My dad he worked with computers.
Oh, so he was fondling them.
He was for the government.
Ew. I feel like most people were just using the internet to look at like
boobies,
porn. Yeah, like waiting like 30 minutes to download one picture of porn.
Yeah, because even those like beginning video platforms didn't show up till 2006, so you got another 10 years before
anything's really rolling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to Black Eyed Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, Brian didn't intend for his Black Eyed Kids story to end up on ghosts.org. He originally shared it to a closed emailing list called Ghost Discuss. And Ghost Discuss was hosted by Alt Folklore Ghost Stories. You following this? Mm-hmm. So Brian was involved in Ghost Discuss, which was hosted by Alt Folklore Ghost Stories, which is Obi-Wan, who also ran the site ghosts.org, where they ran an archive series called The True Ghost Stories from the Net.
That unlocked a memory of like, that's another way to get a creepypasta is through your fucking email.
Literally on an emailing list with like 20 fucking people.
Right.
I'm like, how does that even work?
And then it like evolved. Like I have creepypastas that I still remember today that I think that I saw on MySpace. They were like the bulletin boards, or what were those like things where you could post like a bulletin, and they were like creepypastas, and it was like copy and paste this and post it within an hour,
or else you're gonna get fucking stabbed to death by
humans. Yeah, Humans Can Lick Too was one that I always remembered.
Ew, that one's, I know exactly which one that is.
Yeah, that one's fucking scarred me. I think I had to close the computer after I read that one.
Just like terrified.
And then like, of course, like evolved past MySpace to like texts. Like you could still get a creepypasta or like one of those fucking texts that are like, send to 10 people and you'll have the best year ever.
Which is just like, no, never. I'm never doing that.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not me.
If you enjoy our podcast, please rate, review, and consider becoming a patron by visiting patreon.com/radiograve. Your patronage and support helps us continue to make content for you. You can stay up to date with us by following our Instagram account @RadioGrave Podcast, and be sure to tell all your spooky friends about us too. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
So,
Anyway,
the Black Eyed Kids story was a submission.
Right.
But who was the author? It was Brian Bethel. He's balls deep in ghosts.org. He's all in it. So he originally shared his encounter as totally nonfiction to a closed emailing list called Ghost Discuss. Ghost Discuss. Okay. And the forum was not a large community. And Brian knew everyone, and he shared his encounter, and he was looking for support and advice, etc. And his story just became talk of the town. Everybody was sharing it with everybody. So whether Brian was cool with it or not, his story ended up on ghosts.org. So let's read Brian's story. But first, the story that was submitted in 1996 was not Brian's words. It was someone retelling his story. So the ghost.org archive version is from 1998. Brian wrote out in full and said, this is my words, not someone just kind of reciting what they had heard or read on the thing.
Gossiping about him.
Yeah, literally gossiping.
Just gossiping.
The 98 version includes more details and FAQs section. What does FAQ stands for? What is it?
Facts and questions?
I think it stands for facts and questions, right?
I've never actually like questioned that. I just say FAQs. Farts and queefs. It stands for farts and queefs, actually.
Frequently asked questions.
Oh my god, that makes so much more sense because that's on like all websites for anything ever. There's like
farts and queefs. That's
farts
really
and queefs.
So
it's just him farting and queefing, just to add it onto there.
FAQs. So it's unclear of what was edited or added or removed. Only some bits can be confirmed to be from 1996. So regardless of not having the 96 original, I've taken the 98 version and the surviving bits from the 96 and kind of combined them. Some details from interviews from the last 28 years have also been included. But nothing involving Brian's participation is hyperbolic. It's just clarity. He just clarifies things.
Right.
It's not like, and then, and actually.
So he's not like adding or like,
no.
He's just clarifying.
The only thing that I've excluded is details from the 2012 Monsters and Mysteries TV show interview that Brian did. Because Brian ended up denouncing it, claiming that the production heavily edited and warped his words and story.
We can never have anything nice.
No, I mean, just TV shows ruin everything.
There was a channel on cable, and I think it was called like Psych or like something, and it would always have like true crime, alien stories, ghost stories. And there was one that my younger brother and I would watch called Psychic Kids, and it would go over, and it would be the like poor acting.
Oh my God.
And then it's like someone talking about it.
Oh, it's like a reenactment.
Yeah, like a reenactment. I bet these kids were on there.
Yeah, that's like literally what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really bad. And the kids that are in this story are kids. I think in the Monsters and Mysteries, it's like grown men dressed as children or something. I don't know.
They're like on their knees with the little like their shoes. Their knees are in their shoes. Literally. Like a trench coat.
Okay, so basically no Monsters and Mysteries, just Brian's story. So it goes like this. I don't really know what I'd call this story if I was submitting it for publication in Fate or something of its ilk.
What the fuck does that word even mean? I'm so sorry.
Of its likeness.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Continue. Scratch that.
I don't really know what I'd call this story if I was submitting it for publication in Fate or something of its ilk. Maybe Brian versus the evil, black-eyed, possibly vampiric or demonic, but at least not bloody normal kids. Doesn't have much of a ring to it, but that's at least an accurate title. One of my great regrets is not recording the actual date of the event, and after you hear the story, you'd think it would be something you'd never forget. But given enough time, my memory, while good, isn't quite eidetic. Near as I can figure, this happened in 1996. I feel like it happened in the spring or summer, since I remember wearing a pair of shorts. And at the time, I had been employed as a reporter-journalist for the Abilene Reporter News for a year. That's all I've managed to pin down the date thus far. As so many things do, it all started out innocently. My internet service provider, Camelot Communications, used to have an office in a shopping center located on North 1st Street, right next to the $1.50 movie theater in downtown Abilene, Texas. This original Camelot location had a nighttime drop box for checks, so when my monthly bill was due, I headed to the office to pay. It was about 9:30 p.m. when I left from my relatively isolated apartment, and the drive was about 15 minutes or so. I drove into the shopping center parking lot and pulled into an empty parking space nearby the next door theater. At the time, the theater was featuring that masterwork of modern film, Mortal Kombat! Do you know the Mortal Kombat theme song? Dun, 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 dun. All I
Make
can
it hot, hot, hot.
not the right melody.
I can't think of it. I played a lot of it just having brothers, just button mashed. But
You know what? I'll just play it now. So, yes. Using the glow of the marquee to write out my check, and with my car still running, I was suddenly startled by a knock on my driver's side window. I looked over and saw two young boys staring at me. I never heard them approach. They were both dressed in dark clothing and appeared to be in that semi-mystical stage of life where a child's age is ambiguous. What do you mean, Brian? What do you mean?
yeah, I guess I never know anyone's age.
No, I mean, why semi-mystical? You don't know a
Are you
child's
trying to say
age?
the word puberty?
Semi-mystical stage of life where a child's age is ambiguous.
It could be they could have been 1 year old and they could have been 12. I don't know.
I don't even know.
Can't even tell.
Like, what is the age of consent anyway? Like,
Maybe he's like, I could see maybe 9 to 13.
yeah, that's basically what he says. He says, my initial assumption was they were likely somewhere between 9 to 12 years old, 14 at the max. He says, they didn't appear to be related, at least directly. One boy was slightly taller than his companion and appeared to be older. His skin was olive-colored and had curly, medium-length brown hair. He wore a gray hooded pullover and jeans. However, I could not see his feet. He exuded an air of quiet confidence, and I've come to think of him as the spokesman of the two. The smaller, younger boy had pale skin with a trace of freckles, and his hair was a pale orange color. He was dressed in a similar manner to his companion, but his pullover was a green color. His primary characteristic seemed to be looking around nervously. During this encounter, he never spoke a single word.
It's because he has a knife.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like these kids are going to rob him, right?
Yeah.
So I thought to myself,
Oh, great. They're going to hit me up for money.
thankfully, my door lock was engaged. I cracked the window very slightly, and suddenly the air changed. I was immediately gripped by an incomprehensible, soul-racking, instinctual fear, and I had no idea why. What?
Ugh, that sounds terrible.
Oh.
I'm already like kind of freaked out by children anyway, but then like you get the goosebumps, and then your ancestor is telling you to run.
Yeah, an immediate, incomprehensible, soul-wrecking, instinctual fear.
The instinctual fears, like,
Yeah.
it's in our DNA to be afraid of it.
The older boy smiled at me, and that's when I realized it was too late. The window was already open. A conversation ensued. Yes? I asked.
Hey, mister, what's up? We have a problem.
His diction was quiet and calm.
Oh, sorry, that was not quiet and calm. Like, we do that. That was like, hey, mister.
Hey, mister.
Transatlantic.
What's up?
Transatlantic answer. Okay. Hey, mister, what's up? We have a problem.
His diction was quiet and calm.
You see, my friend and I want to see the films, but we forgot our money. We need to go to our house to get it. Want to help us out?
Now, journalists are required to talk to lots of people, and that includes children. I've seen and spoken to lots of them. Here's how that usually goes.
Hey, mister, can I see that camera? I won't break anything. I promise. My dad has a camera, and he lets me hold it sometimes. And I took a picture of my dog, and it wasn't very good because my finger got in the way. And sometimes my mommy yells at my daddy, and he sleeps on the couch.
And blah, 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 blah. Sometimes their bodies sway, shuffle their feet, avoid eye contact, typical kid behavior while talking to a stranger. In short, they're usually apologetic. People generally teach children that when they talk to adults, they're usually bothering them for one reason or another, and they should at least be polite. This is not true in this day and age at all.
No.
This is not true in this day and age whatsoever.
11-year-old would spit on you.
Yeah, no, children do not do this
They
anymore.
would ask like how much money's in my checking account and then like spit on me.
Yeah.
And cancel me online.
Literally.
Somehow.
Like classist. Like they're fucking classist. Like what the fuck? How can children be classist?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyways.
It's those like Montessori's.
It is Montessori's.
Yeah.
It gives them too much power.
Right.
Take the power
All the
away.
beige. It's the beige. It's getting to their brains.
Take it away.
Mm-hmm. Give them neon colors again.
This kid was in no way fitting the mold. His command of language showed no signs of fear. He spoke as if my help was a foregone conclusion. When he grinned, it was as if he was trying to convey that he knew something that I didn't. The only reply I could muster was, well. Now here's where it starts to get strange. The quiet companion looked at the spokesman with a mixture of confusion and guilt on his face. He seemed in some ways shocked, but not with his friend's brusque manner, but that I didn't just immediately open the door. The spokesman seemed a bit perturbed too. Like he was trying to sell me a car. The spokesman said,
Come on, mister. We just want to go to our house.
Then after a slight pause, he said,
We're just two little boys.
That really scared me. The only response I could manage was, what movie are you going to see?
Mortal Kombat, of course.
The quiet companion nodded in affirmation. Oh, okay.
Why does it sound like a porno? We're just two little boys.
He's all,
Oh, okay.
dun, 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 dun. That's not the Mortal. I don't know what the Mortal Kombat theme song is. I keep trying to guess. It's not.
Bum, 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 bum. I don't know.
We just
Y'all
did
ready
the
for
same.
this?
That's what yes. Yeah. Okay. That's not what we need. My neck hurts.
Austin and I were looking at trucks. There was like an old truck, and he was trying to say like that's very ha 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 ha, but he goes ha ha ha, just like in my ear, and I was like, he's like that's how it goes, right? I was like, no.
Oh, this old truck is so.
Just watched all of them.
He likes it. Does he like them? He thinks they're
I don't
funny.
think anyone really likes them, but we watch them at least once a year and go dive into the lore and, you know.
Anal? Is that what you just said?
I said the lore and, you know.
What?
It's just a yearly routine.
Just
Twilight and Anal.
Once a year, baby.
It was really popular with the emo kids back in the day.
Twilight and anal.
Anal. You've heard of Netflix and Chill. This was pre-Netflix and Chill.
Twilight and anal? No, I can't. So, anyways, I said, oh, okay. I looked up at the theater marquee, then down at my car's digital clock display. The last Mortal Kombat showing of the evening had been playing for an hour. By the time I could have driven the boys anywhere and back, the movie would have practically been over. I think they saw my glances at the marquee, and the quiet companion seemed to grow more nervous.
Come on, mister. Let us in. We'll be gone before you know it. We're just two little boys. We'll go to our mother's house. You have to let us in.
I suddenly realized that my hand had unconsciously wandered up to the car's door lock, and I seemed to be unintentionally in the process of opening it. I pulled it away, perhaps a bit too violently. That's when I noticed their eyes for the first time. They were coal black, no pupil, no iris. The sort of eyes one sees these days on bargain basement vampires or aliens on late night television. Just two staring orbs reflecting the red and white lights of the marquee. At that point, I know my expression betrayed me. The quiet companion suddenly had a look of shock on his face, almost like the impossible had just happened, as if he were thinking,
Oh no, we've been found out. I had to see how the kid was gonna.
Oh
no, we've been found out.
That's what he sounds like.
Golly, Jillikers.
What does a redhead sound like?
I can't say that. My best friend is a redhead.
What?
She sounds normal.
I don't believe that for a second. No, I'm kidding.
I'll call her right now.
She's like, hello.
Yeah. This is like fucking Lois Griffin.
Something.
Oh, Peter.
Literally.
Oh no, we've been found out. That seems like it's
Or it's like, oh no, we've been found out.
Oh, widowy? We been found out.
You know what's fucked up is I say literally all the time, but just not like that.
Literally?
Literally. It's a problem. Okay, anyway. Okay.
I literally.
So, on the other hand, the spokesman wore a mask of anger.
Come on, mister. We won't hurt you. You have to let us in. We don't have a gun.
Why the fuck would he say that?
We don't have a gun.
We don't have a gun. He says, that last statement scared the living hell out of me. His tone clearly suggested that they didn't need a gun. I started to roll up my window as fast as I could, and he began to sharply bang on the glass. He yelled,
We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in.
I wrapped my hand around the gear shift and ripped the car into reverse. With the boy still standing in peripheral vision, I skidded away towards the exit. Before tearing out of the parking lot, I stole a quick glance back in my mirror in order to look at them. But the parking lot and sidewalk by the theater were deserted. They were gone.
Nightmare.
Even if they had run, I don't believe there was any place they could have hidden from view that quickly. I drove home in a heightened state of panic. I'm surprised I didn't sideswipe a car or two along the way. Had anyone attempted to stop me, I would have run on through them and faced the consequences later. I was in a state of blind fear. Okay, so that's the end of that story.
That's such a nightmare because I feel like a lot of those horror stories are something pretending to be that it's not. Like the wording is too specific.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, we can't come in unless you tell us it's okay.
Yeah.
If it was a real child, they would have just like climbed in the back seat and asked if you had candy or
right.
Till you take them to Taco Bell.
Yeah, they're telling you what to do.
You know, when we were growing up, it was like the strangers are the danger. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, the kids are the danger.
The kids have
they're a danger to the strangers.
You know, I used to be really afraid of like middle school age children. I'm not anymore. I'm more afraid of teenagers because I think that they might assault me, like physically, or rob me. I don't know. Like, I just feel like they're up to no good always. But like middle school kids, I'm like, fuck you guys.
They're mean. They're mean to each other, but they're very fragile. That's why they're so mean.
Yeah, literally. They're the like most fragile. Yeah.
But
and I feel like they're not as strong as I think they are. Like if one were to punch me, I think it would suck. But I also think that I could shove one like really hard if I had to.
Definitely take one, yeah.
Yeah.
One or two.
I don't know. I'm not very tall and I'm not very fast. But I think my strength, I think I could be strong enough. Like if I were to like take my hand like this and like push on their neck, maybe kind of choke them at the same time and then flee, it might be shocking enough that they'll like cry.
Right. Or you could just scream something really mean at them.
In their fucking face.
Yeah. And it's like, This is why your dad left, you piece of shit. It was your fault, the divorce.
Yeah.
And
that would
like,
work.
You're never going to get rid of the acne on your face as well. Really.
Okay.
Anyway.
So shortly after, the story unexpectedly grew in popularity and subsequently went viral. Thus, the Black Eyed Kids legend was born, being one of the very first urban legends to spread entirely on the internet. The very first one, honestly.
Respect that. You gotta respect it.
Literally. However, this all came with a ton of attention, both good and bad. Brian received some harsh criticism from skeptics, people calling him crazy and making fun of him. And there were also woo-woos with theories, and there were people with lots and lots of questions. The farts and queefs section was much needed.
Yeah. He really had to let them all out.
Literally.
Let it air out.
Literally.
Get it out there in the open.
Yeah. So 2 years later, 1998, Brian updated his story, which is the one that we shared with you, and gave opinions and thoughts on the spread and popularity of the story. And he did publish that farts and queefs for some clarification, like we said.
Clear it out.
Yeah. So here are some snippets from the farts and queefs. There was a term coined for what I'd seen, BEKs, Black-Eyed Kids. I wouldn't have chosen it personally, but it's the acronym the internet knows now. I'm a newspaper reporter, and I pride myself on accuracy and truth. When I tell a story about one of my experiences, I try to convey a sense of what exactly was going on, how I felt, and what I saw without added hyperbole or artistic liberties.
Isn't this just some alt folklore ghost stories joke?
Maybe it is now, but not in the beginning. It does tend to annoy one when something that was very personal, very frightening, and at least to me, very real is dismissed as total fabrication, conjured up for a few laughs. I do take some of this personally. I was there, damn it. I do feel like I can say this with some authority. Freaky cold black contacts aren't widely available to a couple of kids in Abilene, Texas, for anything under a small fortune. And there wasn't enough time to even put such things on in the short time I broke the spokesman's gaze, if they could afford them. Side note, when I listened to the Black-Eyed Kids episode from last podcast on the left, one of their guys over there, Marcus, he grew up in a town that was like not very far from Abilene, but he basically said the same thing. That was like, there is no hot topic in Abilene, Texas. Even today, there is no hot topic in Abilene, Texas. There's nowhere that anyone could get black contact lenses in Abilene, Texas right now.
I think the contact lens feels very early 2000s or 2009,
Yeah.
2007. Like you didn't really see them until like we were in like middle schools when I saw people wearing contacts that were different colors in general.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have to be some serious dedication, sci-fi.
Yeah, to finding shit like that. American adaptations of Japanese horror movies, like when they did The Grudge, like The Grudge has the eyes,
right,
the black eyes. And it's like, that makes sense that is a popularized fear, like scary thing now, because The Grudge was incredibly successful as an American horror movie. So of course it's scary, but it's like 1998.
No.
Like, sorry, that movie had not come out yet, at least in America.
Also, I just, I think he probably would have noticed it from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't really...
They would have been wearing them the whole time.
Yeah. It's not like he didn't really like notice until he like really looked at them.
Yeah. He said that, at least he said that when he turned away and then looked, their eyes were suddenly black.
Yeah, it really plays into the fear of things that are like humanoid, like why people are afraid of statues and like dolls and things that are like almost human, the uncanny valley type thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like there's no human ever that has ever had eyes like that. So it's a predator.
Yeah, and people weren't tattooing their eyeballs back then, especially children.
Not children in Abilene, Texas.
Nope. Because, like, you see motherfucker with his eyeballs tattooed, and honestly, it's hard not to look. It is freaky. Like, I've had a piercer have their eyeballs tattooed, like, blue, the whites of their eyes. Fucking scary. It definitely makes you jump. So, it's, like, the first thing you notice. Yeah. And you try to be, like, I try to be progressive. I'm into body modification, but that shit, you're like, oh, my God. Like, they do it on purpose. So what do you think they were?
I'm still not sure. I've had several theories posited, none of which are totally satisfying. I don't believe they were vampires, as some have suggested, and I don't think they were just a couple of kids with some freaky contacts either. Do I believe something unnatural was at work? Yes, most likely. The fear is what keeps haunting me. Along with continuous questions, criticism, and people just looking to talk, Brian also began to receive emails from people sharing about their own encounters with Black-Eyed Kids. He would say, there has been sporadic but more than occasional contact from people who think they may have seen something similar. Some narratives follow the template of my original encounter a bit too slavishly, and those are easy to dismiss. But others have a more than subtle ring of the same sort of panic and helplessness that I felt. One story that Brian believed to be the most true was from a man named John, and he allegedly encountered a gang of Black-Eyed Kids in Portland, Oregon, which was followed by tragedy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun.
tragedy was that they stepped in human shit in Portland, Oregon.
The tragedy was they got fucking mugged in broad daylight in Portland, Oregon.
Monster.
I'm gonna have to cut that out. Love that.
Anyway,
So this is the story that Brian received from John. Allegedly, in 1998, John Northwood was visiting Portland for a business conference. The conference got out around 11 p.m., and he had parked on the 3rd floor at a nearby parking garage. So he walked over, he got to his rental, unlocked the door, and climbed in, when a tapping came from his passenger side window. When John turned to look, he saw a somewhat familiar face. It was his business associate from the conference. He was at his window. His name was Doug. John asked Doug what he needed, and Doug, looking a little sweaty, told him something was weird. Doug claimed that when he arrived at his rental car, he found 3 children hanging around it, 2 boys and 1 girl, all around 12 to 14 years old. And he described them as weird, freaky, and gothomatic.
weird, freaky, gothomatic. Sounds like a
Weird, freaky, gothomatic.
something
weird,
as
freaky,
seen on TV.
Gothomatic. Who says gothomatic?
I don't know. I kind of like it though.
Weird, freaky,
It
gothomatic.
seems like it's like a button that you would push and everything would go black.
Gothomatic?
Gothomatic.
So he said that one child intensely asked him for a ride, and he declined, but the kids were persistent, and he didn't want to approach the kids at all. He had been standing about 20 feet away the entire time. They were basically blocking his car, and so he turned around in pursuit of help.
Paranormal or not, if I see 3 kids approach me for shit, I'm out fucking numbered, and I'm getting like done got somehow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Done got. So obviously he turned around in pursuit of help. He's like, I'm not going near these Portlandian children.
children.
Yeah. So Doug asked John for a favor. He said, can you drive me around the garage a few times until they leave? Doug was obviously freaked out, so John agreed. They drove around for a while, and when they circled back, Dog's face fell. Ruff. The 3 kids were still at his car. John didn't want to acknowledge the little degenerates.
Right.
So he kept his eyes straight forward. They drove closer to the car. As they rolled up right next to Doug's rental, John did something completely unintentional. Without thinking, John came to a slow stop. John described feeling an itch behind his eyes. He and Doug both turned and looked, and Doug had not been this close to them the time before, and they were shocked to see that their appearance was inhuman, and both were filled with a primitive fear. Completely frozen, the men were suddenly in a trance, and then the girl approached their window.
It's scary out here all alone. We just want to ride home.
Behind her, one of the boys said,
You promised you'd help us out.
John became overwhelmed by a wave of extreme nausea. Doug cried out, I don't know who you are.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
That's my purse. I don't know you. He said, I don't know who you are. It was then that the form of the children changed. It appeared their eyes had suddenly turned into oily black voids. That's a void. The sight was so jarring that it snapped John back into reality. He skidded away as fast as he could.
Ski fucking daddled.
He ski fucking daddy.
Daddled.
He skidoodle.
Skiddity bop.
He skidoodly dude.
He skiddily dude away.
He skidded away. He skidded away as fast as he could. In the rear view, the children were in pursuit. They arrived at the 1st floor, only to find the kids once again. They were waiting for them. It was impossible. How did the kids beat them to the bottom? John worked up the courage and raced past them, flying out the exit of the garage. John and Doug drove around for a while, and once the feelings of dread subsided, the 2 returned to retrieve Doug's rental. They made it to the 3rd floor. The kids were gone. Doug sighed with relief, thanked John for his help, and ran to his car and hastily headed towards the exit. John followed him closely, and once at the exit, John felt the same dread as before. Suddenly, Doug pulled his car out of the garage at full fucking speed. And he turned sharply, racing away, and he sped toward an intersection. He misjudged a yellow light running a red and was violently struck by a truck. And Doug was killed instantly.
Damn.
John's head was spinning. He was nauseous and needed to get help ASAP. And that's when he saw them. The 3 black-eyed kids had been lurking in the dark on the sidewalk. They caused the accident. They killed Doug. The end.
Yo, fucked up. I would have I don't know. You always say what you think you would have done, but
I would have shit.
I'm a straight fucking lizard. I freeze up like Rango. I just freeze.
I thought you were gonna say I'm a straight fucking lizard. I'm gonna shit.
I'm gonna drop my tail. I'm gonna boot my pants. I would have not gone back to my rental car. If that were you and me, and we had left a conference,
I would have just driven you to your
you're
to your hotel or whatever.
We're sleeping in the same bed actually tonight. I don't think I could have been alone.
No.
For a while.
John and Doug had to sleep in the same bed.
They could have kissed.
I was gonna say, what if we kissed in the same bed
while the black-eyed kids
watched? Gross.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That's just
why are we making fun of him?
Is just I don't know what this story is getting me. These kids are getting me. It's kind of in season 1, the story of the you were being impersonated. That one that one freaked me out so bad. And just I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's just that element of unexplained, slightly human, off, not human.
Yeah.
My question is what is their end goal? Do they have an end goal? To be trick? What happens when they get into your car? Why do they want in there so bad?
Right. I don't know.
What do they want with us so bad? What is the end of it? And maybe that's what makes it so freaky. You have to lie like a used car salesman to get in.
I heard that one time one asked to come in and use the bathroom, and he came in and he took a huge shit and clogged the toilet. And then
is it a double decker or is it an upper decker? Yeah. Just upper decks. My plumbing bill was ridiculous. I mean, honestly, that would be more that would be kind of funnier is if everyone has these extreme views of their intentions, but what if they're just mildly annoying for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Your car will always have a tick that you can never get rid of. It's that little snail that's always following you.
Oh my God. Could you imagine just you give the kid a ride and then you get a fucking leak in your oil pan?
Yeah. It's nothing huge. It's nothing that's going to kill you. It's there was a really old viral YouTube video and it's called The Slowest Death or a slow death. And it's a sketch video where this guy is getting followed around by a guy with an entity with a spoon. And it's just hitting him with the spoon over and over and over again until years down the road, he's tired and just gives up and dies. But it's supposed to be some spooky entity that's doing it. It's pretty good.
That's what happened to Doug. I don't know. It seemed like it happened really fast. Fast death.
But also man, there's so many things that's not to be the devil's advocate or whatever those straight guys say. But there's so many things on Reddit that are worded so well and it's just someone's creative writing project.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Do we have facts on Doug? And do we have a birth certificate on Doug?
Or death certificate?
Sorry. Both, actually.
No.
Yeah. Well, all right. Anyway, conclusion.
No, not yet.
Oh.
When Brian was asked for his opinion on John's story and if he actually believed him, Brian would say, "Yes, I do. I've had the pleasure of getting to know John for some time now. And I don't think he'd fib to me. I have found him to be honest and quite trustworthy, so I have no reason to disbelieve him.
It also says here that they kiss on a regular basis. Brian and John.
Brian and John and Doug watches
Yeah, unrelated.
from the grave.
Bros are kissing. Sounds something like something someone kissing someone else would say. But I mean,
Yeah. So, entering the 21st century, the world began to change, especially online. Internet traffic on early social media and chain email threads spread the BEK's story even more. Thus, the story itself changed bit by bit with every click of the mouse. Although it was Brian's story to tell, it now belonged to the internet, essentially hijacked, not to be dramatic. In 2008, BEK's story was posted on creepypasta.com, and it subsequently caught fire. Rapid spread like never before, but it was branded as an internet urban legend. If you don't already know what creepypasta is, it's basically the birthplace of the internet urban legend concept. Creepypasta was first established in 2007. The site solely runs on reader submission horror stories called creepypastas.
you know, just there's nothing like a sleepover where it's like you're scaring the shit out of yourself with creepy pastas and then you go on chat roulette,
And look at a bunch of cocks.
see a bunch of dong.
And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's
And-
like a dude like jacking off and choking himself. Like,
Dude, bro, it's
Yeah.
like it's extreme. It's extreme on there. And
yeah, that's why it's gone now.
yeah, Omegle.
Omegle's, yeah. Omegle's making a comeback. I've never seen anyone jacking off and choking themselves on Omegle, but I know they're there.
have. Yeah. What chat roulette got put down, euthanized. And
Literally.
then Omegle had the chat and then the video, and then it progressed to have an 18 plus section and then like a normal section. And all of it was 18 plus. Like you could go in the normal section, there's still people jacking it.
Yeah, they don't
Jorking.
monitor.
Jorking their penis.
They're jorking. They're fucking
Jorking it.
jelking, fucking jorking their shit, cranking. They're fucking cranking their shit. Yeah.
That was just something my friends and I did at sleepovers, like 15, 16, 17, was like chat roulette,
It's just
Omegle.
funny, but it's also like scary.
Sometimes we would find people our age and talk to and it wasn't gross or creepy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you know, you just have to weed through a lot of dicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes we were taking a French class and we pretend that we could speak French. We didn't.
Wee wee.
Oui, oui.
Wee wee. And he's
Bonjour.
like, oh, I'm going to show you something.
No, yeah, he said oui, oui. You just like
Anyway, fuck.
brought them from the sky.
So yeah. So the site runs on reader submission stories. And pretty much almost all of these stories are fictional and have amassed huge cult followings in the past. So some examples of creepypastas, pretty much I think everyone would know, is like Slender Man. Slender Man is a creepypasta.
Right.
The Russian sleep experiment is a creepypasta. The Rake, Goatman's Bridge. Why did I say it like that? Goatman's Bridge, Goatman's Bridge. Those are all super famous creepypastas. They're not real. They just came from there. So creepypasta internet legends walk the line between virtual reality and real life. Just like the legend of this man, they strongly influence internet culture, media, art, etc. But the stories are not real. In regards to the unstoppable growth and metamorphosis of this story, Brian would say, ever since my story was leaked out to the wider internet, I've gone through several phases. For a long while, I eagerly answered any and all correspondence about the happening. A few years later, I got tired of answering the same questions over and over and over again. I read, but largely didn't reply to inquiries, which is why I made the farts and queefs.
Yeah, that's why he had to put all those out there, which
Yeah.
would make sense.
The
'cause
farts and queefs make sense, yeah.
people do drain you of everything you have.
Yeah, so
The general public does.
all you can give them is your farts and queefs after
Yeah.
that.
You just gotta let it all out.
Yeah. So in 2012, Brian was asked to interview or, tell his story on the TV show Monsters and Mysteries in America. Time and distance from the event contributed to his decision, which was yes. He quickly realized it was a mistake. After it aired, Brian published a statement online. He wanted to separate truth from the lies. And he also mentions that his boss was like pissed off at him or something.
Oh, he's a journalist. I was like, what does he?
Yeah, like maybe he's like, why are you on?
He's
Like,
already farting and queefing on the internet.
yeah, like what
for
the
free.
fuck? Right, I know. Like, but no, I think it's because he was like went on a show and told like a really crazy, fantastical story and was like, I'm a journalist. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and then they edit it to be like super fucking choppy and
like
dramatic. So,
yeah. So he tells his story for the last time unedited, just to, I think, cover his ass. And he ends his post as such. He says, "Do I expect you to believe me blindly? Of course not. I might not believe it myself if I heard such a story from someone else. As much as I still don't know about what happened that night and why, here's one thing I do know. It's a gut feeling, but one that rises to a level of almost certainty. If I'd given the spokesman and his friend a ride on that long ago evening, I don't think I would be here to type this now." So today, Elizabeth Bush, aka Obi-Wan from Ghost.org, insists that she knows that Brian Bethel's story of his black-eyed kids encounter is completely genuine. And that is the story of the black-eyed kids.
That's terrifying.
Are you scared?
I'm a little freaked out. Like being approached by strange children. First of all, not my thing.
No.
And then they're like demanding whether they're paranormal or not, but everyone gets those like ancestral like gut feelings.
Ancestral?
Yeah. Ancestors, not incest.
And you said incest?
I said ancestral, like your ancestors.
Oh, like my family, like incest.
No.
Oh.
Like Mulan with the incense.
With the incest?
God damn it. Cut that.
No, with the incense.
There's like a biological like DNA fears. You know?
Yeah.
That's why some people are afraid of like things like heights and birds and things. You know, it's like back in the day.
We were like hunted by heights and hunted by birds.
There's a big birds out there.
Yeah, and they're
Take
definitely...
a kid or two from you.
Actually, they do that, yeah.
Actually, a California condor.
Your California condor.
The California condor. Have you seen those golden eagles with a goat? Like they could take a baby.
Have you ever seen the California
actually,
condor?
Some big birds, they hunt goats. Fucking murked them.
Fucking murked, bro.
Got him.
Anyways, that is it. So it sounds like you're a believer now. Sounds like you believe in black-eyed kids.
I don't think I believe in them. I just don't want that to ever happen to me. I just don't like a possibility that's true.
Basically, you're saying, you're being skeptical, but you're also being like agnostic skeptical. Like if it did happen to me,
Terrifying.
I would believe it then. Like I'll believe when something happens to me.
I'm not going to put that out there. I'm not going to, because then it happens to you when you say shit like that.
Well, just the fact that we talked about it this whole time is just creating a tulpa of a black-eyed kid that's going to come.
That. I have to drive home tonight.
I think you'll be fine. Don't worry.
And Austin doesn't come home till 5 a.m.
Oh shit! You have to walk to your car by yourself. To your house by yourself.
Yeah. Well, I have to get out of this coffin, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy through the earth, and I eat it like a mole. I eat the dirt like a mole, and then I go to
moles eat dirt?
Yeah. Or worms do. Both of them.
Really? Do moles eat dirt?
I think they do. We're going to Google it.
Yeah. I don't think they do. I think, how could they eat dirt? Why'd I say it like that? No, they eat dirt. Stupid asshole. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Oh, they don't eat dirt.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I guess before eating an earthworm, they'll squeeze out any dirt.
They don't like the taste of dirt.
They eat a bunch of insects, though. They're pretty cute.
Their weird noses.
I don't like the way you said that. It's aggressive.
Their weird noses. Okay.
I didn't mean to sound so aggressive. I apologize. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay. So next week we're not doing a segment on how cute moles are. Got it.
No, we're doing something completely different.
Actually a no mole zone.
Actually, this is the no mole zone. So
I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Okay.
The first story sounds real. The second story sounds like a creepypasta.
Yeah.
I
John and Doug.
I think the fact that Doug dies Like just cuts it all out. Like I need a death certificate on Doug. Like I need some more. It's
I need to meet his widow and his kids.
It's like a writing prompt in the 3rd grade where you end it with and then I woke up.
And then I woke
it
up.
was just a dream, you know?
It was all a dream.
They were just unusually
It's food
Esquire.
time.
They were
It's
all the
food
Esquires.
time.
It's food time.
It's food time.
Father, I require oats.
Father.
Brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well,
damn.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. Thank you for joining me, Selma.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming in and doing this, taking time out of your day. You just worked all day with dogs. You're a dog person? And so...
You say that. That's a question mark.
You're a dog person?
I am a daycare distractor. I make sure your dogs don't kill each other at daycare. They wouldn't do that.
No, they have to... They don't... Right? I don't know.
They get into fights sometimes, but everyone does.
Mm-hmm. If I was a dog, I'd probably be killed. Yeah, bullied.
I think you'd be a wallflower, like a dog that just hangs out and chills, and then every once in a while plays, and then all the other dogs get really excited.
If I was a dog, what kind of dog would I be?
I am thinking, I just think you're so nice and like friendly that you would be some sort of retriever.
Wow, inbred?
Not inbred, a nice
incest.
Whoa, a nice English retriever. Those are the more special ones.
Is it the ones that are all creamy and white?
That's an English cream. But they're like an English.
The way you looked at me, you're like, actually, that's an English cream. I'm like, it's cream
you would be
colored?
like a boxer mix.
Wow, why would you say that?
They're nice.
They look fucked up.
What? A boxer mix, like a boxer lab mix. Those are some of my best friends at work. Are boxer mixes. So watch your mouth. Watch your tone. I'm trying to compliment a non-dog person.
You're like, you're a boxer.
I'm gonna call you straight 18-year-old Chihuahua with no teeth.
You're like those little white dogs that don't die with the crusty eyes. I always meet people who have those dogs, and then like within a couple months, it's like it passes away, and they're like, Snowflake died, Snowball died, Snow White died, like my Bella died. Yeah. Fucking, it's always that shit. And it's like, she was 22 years old. It's like, that's abuse. Are you really creeped out?
I'm a little creeped out. I'm not like, I'll be fine.
Don't be.
But
Why
I'm
are you
going to
being
think
a
about it.
Baby. It's okay.
I'm going to think about it later.
That's okay. You can think about it. It's fine. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you, Selma.
Thanks for being there.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Selma, for being here. And we'll have you back on the show again very, very, very soon.
Yeah. And Amber and Dom are going to do some queefs and farts eventually for you guys.
Farts and queefs.
Farts and queefs. Yes. Excuse me.
Some farts and queefs.
Some farts and queefs.
Yeah. Exactly.
We all heard Brian's, so I'm ready to hear someone else's.
Do you think Brian farts or do you think he queefs?
I think he does both.
I think he does both too. It's all one hole, right? That's what men say, right? They all have one big hole. Yeah.
Why would a man be here? I don't talk to them.
I don't even know what
I
that
use
is.
sign language for my partner. He's a man. I don't talk to him. I just sign.
Austin is a nice guy.
He is.
But he's a man.
We can't put that on record though. That'll get too big.
Yeah, we need everyone to know
He
that
needs to be humbled.
He needs to be humbled. This is so mean.
He got drunk this weekend and cried about how much he loved Brutus, the cat.
Oh, Brutus is a good boy.
He's getting chunky.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Selma.
Tune in next week for my episode of The Joys of Hamster Husbandry.
Your hamster is no longer alive.
She's dead. Actually, terrifying. So there's actually this thing called the black-eyed hamsters, where these hamsters harass you for seed, and they ask to come in.
What kind of seed? Like demon seed? Like cum or like what?
Millet.
Oh, millet seed. shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. We're talking about the same kind of hamsters.
It's actually like, it looks like a child, but it's like a million hamsters in a trench coat. Yeah.
And it's like,
Seed.
it's seed time.
It's seed time.
Thank you guys.
Let me in.
Have a good night.
We don't have a gun.
We don't have a gun.
We don't have a gun.
Good night.
At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere. It is speculated that these objects are of extraterrestrial origin. The broadcast will quiet at this time for your safety. Continue to carry out the following instructions.
Radio Grave Podcast is hosted by Amber Byland and Dominique Makasuya. Music courtesy of AOA Music, Carl Casey at Whitebat Audio, and intro music by Simon Bigbyling. Audio mixing and editing by Amber Byland, logo and original art by Dominique Makasuya. Special thanks to Selma and Obi Henneke, Austin Smith, and all our supporters on Patreon. All other media and sound clips used are protected under fair use and are for the purpose of criticism, commentary, news reporting, education, and research. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.